Welcome to Holy Week at St. Andrews. Pastor Mandy, Jake Weiss, our youth director, and I will be lifting up brief devotions each day this week to help prepare you for an uplifting and spiritually enriching Easter, each day except for Friday, that is. We have a Good Friday service at 6 p.m., both in person and on our live stream. Our devotions are all flowing from the Gospel of Luke after the triumphal entry of Jesus into Jerusalem. And by the way, we recorded these devotions at the Gerald Ford Birthside and Gardens right across the street from Hanscom Park here in Omaha. Our scripture reading for today comes from Luke 21. When some were speaking about the temple, how it was adorned with beautiful stones and gifts dedicated to God, Jesus said, "As for these things that you see, the days will come when not one stone will be left upon another. All will be thrown down." And they asked him, "Teacher, when will this be? And what will be the sign that this is about to take place?" And he said, "Beware that you are not led astray. For many will come in my name and say, 'I am he,' and 'the time is near.' Do not follow after them." Remember watching the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center come crashing down? Think back a few weeks ago and replay the memory of our nation's capital under violent attack. Remember how it felt. Those two buildings are evocative for us. The Twin Towers symbolize the centrality of America to a global economy. Our nation's capital symbolized freedom, democracy, and the American way of life, not only to us, but to people around the world. Remember the emotional gut punch when we saw those beautiful buildings under attack. That's how the people listening to Jesus must have felt when he said, "The days will come when not one stone will be left upon another. All will be thrown down." Jesus was talking about the temple in Jerusalem. It was thought to be one of the most beautiful buildings of the ancient world. And not only beautiful, the temple was the focal point of Jewish worship and national life. It was the place where heaven and earth came together. The people believed that all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell in the temple, making it the most sacred place on earth. And Jesus said that one day it would be destroyed. What you felt on those days of our national tragedy is what the people listening to Jesus would have felt when he spoke those words. They were in shock. When it's going to happen? How? Why? Why, Jesus, would you say that? Well, one, it was prophetic. That in fact happened 40 years later when the Romans destroyed the temple. But more than that, this was Jesus' way of saying that the time and purpose of the temple had come to an end. The temple was no longer the place where heaven and earth come together. The temple was no longer the place where the fullness of God was pleased to dwell. Because instead of a place, heaven and earth come together in a person. In Colossians chapter 1, the Apostle Paul said that in Jesus, all things hold together, and he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in everything he may be preeminent. For in him all the fullness of God is pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on heaven or on earth, making peace by the blood of his cross. No matter how beautiful to see or how painful to contemplate, the purpose and the time of the temple had come to an end. In Jesus himself, all the fullness of God is pleased to dwell. Through Jesus, the blood of the cross, we have peace with God. Jesus has done for us what we could never do for ourselves. In Jesus, we see God face to face, and what we see is love. Holy, divine, sin-consuming love. In Jesus, all the fullness of God's love is pleased to dwell. For St. Andrews United Methodist Church, this is Pastor Bruce Emmert. God bless you.